One simple cup, taken daily, has the power to transform your cardiovascular health in ways that might surprise you. This isn't about expensive medications, complicated procedures, or drastic lifestyle changes that leave you feeling overwhelmed and defeated. It's about rediscovering an ancient remedy that has been quietly helping people maintain clear arteries, healthy blood pressure, and vibrant energy for centuries, yet has been overlooked by modern medicine's rush toward pharmaceutical solutions. Imagine waking up tomorrow morning feeling lighter, more energetic, with a sense of vitality you haven't experienced in years. Picture yourself climbing stairs without breathlessness, walking through the grocery store without fatigue, and ending your day feeling accomplished rather than exhausted. Your doctor's visits become less about managing an ever-growing list of problems and more about celebrating measurable improvements in your health markers. Your family stops worrying about your declining health, and you stop feeling like your body is working against you at every turn. This transformation is not only possible, but it's happening right now for thousands of seniors who have discovered this simple daily practice. It starts with understanding what's really happening inside your arteries as you age, why traditional approaches often fall short of delivering the results seniors need and deserve, and how one carefully prepared cup can begin reversing years of arterial damage in ways that will surprise both you and your doctor. Before we dive deep into this life-changing discovery, I'd love to know where you're watching from today. Drop a comment below and share your age. I read every single comment, and your stories inspire so many others in our community who are on similar health journeys. And if you're serious about taking control of your health naturally, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss these powerful health revelations that could change everything for you and your loved ones. Now let me tell you about Eleanor, a woman whose story will sound familiar to many of you watching today. At 73, Eleanor was taking 4 different medications for her blood pressure, each one promising to help but seeming to create new problems of its own. She felt constantly drained, as if someone had slowly turned down her internal energy dial over the years without her noticing. Simple activities like climbing the stairs to her bedroom left her breathless and shaky. Going to the mailbox required planning and recovery time. Even grocery shopping had become an exhausting ordeal that she would put off as long as possible. Her cardiologist, a well-meaning man who had been treating her for 6 years, had begun mentioning the possibility of more aggressive treatments if her numbers didn't improve. There was talk of additional medications, more frequent monitoring, and lifestyle restrictions that seemed to grow stricter with each visit. Eleanor felt trapped in a body that seemed to be failing her, despite following every medical recommendation to the letter, taking her pills exactly as prescribed, and living the restricted life her doctors insisted was necessary for someone with her condition. But Eleanor's story doesn't end there. In fact, it's just the beginning of a transformation that started with one simple change to her morning routine. A change so subtle that her daughter initially dismissed it as another one of Mum's health fads, joining the long list of supplements and remedies Eleanor had tried over the years with varying degrees of disappointment. Yet within 6 weeks, Eleanor's blood pressure readings had improved so significantly that her doctor asked her to come in for additional testing to make sure his equipment was working properly. Her energy levels soared to heights she hadn't experienced in over a decade, and she was climbing those stairs again without any breathlessness, taking them 2 at a time just because she could. What Eleanor discovered, and what thousands of seniors are now using to reclaim their cardiovascular health, isn't found in any pharmacy. It doesn't require a prescription, and it costs less than $1 per day. Yet its effects on arterial health, blood pressure regulation, and overall vitality can be more profound than many conventional treatments, working through natural pathways that support your body's own healing mechanisms rather than forcing artificial changes that often come with unwanted side effects. To understand why this works so powerfully, we need to look at what's really happening in your arteries as you age. Most people think of arterial problems as simply a matter of cholesterol buildup, like pipes getting clogged with debris. But the reality is far more complex and, fortunately, more treatable than you might believe. Your arteries are not just pipes carrying blood from point A to point B. They're dynamic, living tissues that expand and contract with each heartbeat, actively regulate blood flow to different organs based on your body's changing needs, and respond to hundreds of chemical signals your body sends them throughout the day. These remarkable vessels have their own muscle cells that can relax or tighten to adjust blood flow. They have an inner lining called the endothelium that acts like a sophisticated chemical factory, producing substances that keep blood flowing smoothly and prevent dangerous clots from forming. When these arteries are healthy, they're flexible, responsive, and efficient. But when they become stiff, narrow, or inflamed, everything changes in ways that affect every aspect of your health and vitality. Your heart has to work harder to pump blood through stiffened arteries, like trying to squeeze water through a rigid tube instead of a flexible hose. Your blood pressure rises as your cardiovascular system struggles to maintain adequate circulation. Vital organs, including your brain, begin receiving less oxygen and nutrients than they need to function optimally. You feel tired because your muscles aren't getting the fuel they need. You feel foggy because your brain isn't receiving optimal blood flow. You feel older because your body is essentially running on reduced power. This process doesn't happen overnight like a sudden injury or illness. It develops gradually over years, often beginning in your 40s and 50s, accelerating as you enter your 60s and beyond. The changes are so gradual that you might not notice them at first, attributing increasing fatigue to normal aging, dismissing breathlessness as being out of shape, or accepting that feeling tired is just part of getting older. The medical establishment typically addresses this cascade of problems with medications that force your blood pressure down or thin your blood to prevent clots. While these medications can be life-saving in certain situations, they often treat symptoms rather than addressing the underlying arterial health issues that created the problems in the first place. It's like turning down the pressure gauge on a car engine that's overheating instead of fixing the cooling system. The immediate reading might look better, but the underlying problem continues to worsen. What Eleanor learned, and what cutting-edge research is now confirming in major medical centers around the world, is that your arteries have a remarkable ability to heal and regenerate when given the right support. They can become more flexible, less inflamed, and more efficient at delivering life-giving blood throughout your body. The endothelial cells that line your arteries can begin functioning properly again. The smooth muscle cells in arterial walls can regain their ability to relax and contract appropriately. Even areas of arterial damage can be repaired through your body's natural healing processes. The key lies in providing your arteries with specific compounds that nature has already perfected through millions of years of evolution. These aren't synthetic chemicals created in laboratories, but natural substances that work with your body's existing systems to restore optimal function. The cup that changed Eleanor's life contains something that has been used medicinally for over 4,000 years, yet modern science is only now beginning to understand its profound effects on cardiovascular health. This isn't about folklore or unproven remedies passed down through generations without scientific basis. We're talking about compounds that have been studied in major medical centers like Harvard, Johns Hopkins, and the Mayo Clinic. These studies have been published in peer-reviewed journals, replicated by independent researchers, and shown to produce measurable improvements in arterial function that can be detected using sophisticated medical equipment. Let me share with you exactly what Eleanor started drinking every morning, why it works so effectively at the cellular level, and how you can begin experiencing these benefits yourself, starting as early as tomorrow morning with ingredients you might already have in your kitchen. The secret Eleanor discovered is green tea, but not just any green tea grabbed randomly from the grocery store shelf. We're talking about a specific preparation and consumption method that maximizes its arterial healing compounds while ensuring your body can actually absorb and utilize them effectively. The difference between drinking green tea casually and using it medicinally is like the difference between getting caught in a light drizzle and standing under a powerful waterfall. Both involve water, but the impact is dramatically different. Green tea contains a powerful group of antioxidants called catechins, with one in particular, epigallocatechin gallate, or EGCG, showing remarkable abilities to protect and restore arterial health in ways that surprised even the researchers studying it. But here's what most people don't know, and what makes the difference between success and disappointment. The way you prepare and consume green tea determines whether you'll receive these life-changing benefits or just enjoy a pleasant-tasting beverage with minimal therapeutic effect. Eleanor learned to prepare her green tea using water heated to exactly 175 degrees Fahrenheit, not the boiling water that most people use automatically. This temperature difference might seem trivial, but boiling water destroys many of the delicate compounds that provide the cardiovascular benefits. It's like overcooking vegetables until they lose their nutritional value. The basic structure remains, but the beneficial elements are damaged or destroyed. She would steep one high-quality green tea bag for exactly 4 minutes. Not the 1 or 2 minutes that many people use, and not the 10 or 15 minutes that others think provide stronger benefits. 4 minutes allows optimal extraction of the beneficial compounds without pulling out excessive tannins that can interfere with absorption and cause stomach upset in sensitive individuals. After steeping, Eleanor would remove the tea bag and allow the tea to cool to a comfortable drinking temperature, usually about 10 to 15 minutes, depending on the room temperature. This cooling period isn't just about comfort. It allows the beneficial compounds to stabilize and become more bioavailable to your body. But the preparation was only part of Eleanor's success story. The timing of consumption proved equally important, perhaps even more so than the preparation method itself. She discovered that drinking her green tea on an empty stomach, first thing in the morning before eating anything else, maximized absorption of the beneficial compounds. Having food in her stomach, particularly foods high in protein or iron, could interfere with the absorption of catechins by binding to them and preventing their uptake into her bloodstream. This timing also meant that the beneficial compounds had several hours to circulate through her system and begin their protective work before being metabolized and eliminated. Eleanor found that drinking green tea with meals or later in the day provided some benefits, but nothing compared to the powerful effects she experienced from her morning ritual. Eleanor also learned to enhance her tea's effectiveness by adding a small squeeze of fresh lemon juice, about half a teaspoon per cup. This wasn't about improving the taste, though many people do find it more palatable. The vitamin C in lemon juice increases the absorption of catechins by up to 5 times, transforming a good cup of tea into a powerful medicinal preparation that delivers therapeutic levels of arterial healing compounds. The science behind this enhancement is fascinating. Catechins are naturally unstable in the alkaline environment of your small intestine, where most nutrient absorption occurs. The vitamin C creates a more acidic environment that stabilizes these compounds and allows them to be absorbed much more efficiently. Without this enhancement, much of the beneficial compounds in green tea simply pass through your system without being utilized. Within the first week of this new routine, Eleanor noticed subtle changes that she initially attributed to coincidence or wishful thinking. She felt more alert in the mornings without needing her usual second cup of coffee, something she had relied on for years to get through her morning routine. Her afternoon energy crashes, which had become so predictable she planned her day around them, became less severe and eventually disappeared entirely. But the real changes were happening on a cellular level, in ways she couldn't yet feel, but that would soon become apparent in measurable ways. The catechins in properly prepared green tea work through multiple pathways to improve cardiovascular health, creating a cascade of beneficial effects that build upon each other over time. They reduce inflammation in arterial walls, making them more flexible and less likely to accumulate the plaque deposits that narrow arteries and impede blood flow. This anti-inflammatory effect is so powerful that it can be measured using blood tests that detect inflammatory markers like C-reactive protein, which typically decrease significantly in people who consume green tea regularly. The catechins also improve the function of the endothelium, that crucial thin layer of cells lining your arteries that plays a central role in regulating blood pressure and blood flow. When the endothelium is healthy, it produces nitric oxide, a molecule that signals arterial muscles to relax, allowing blood to flow more freely and reducing the pressure on your cardiovascular system. Perhaps most importantly, these compounds help your body produce more nitric oxide naturally, essentially optimizing your body's own blood pressure regulation system. This is the same mechanism that many blood pressure medications try to influence artificially, but green tea's catechins accomplish this naturally, without the side effects that often accompany pharmaceutical interventions. The research supporting these effects is extensive and continuing to grow. A landmark study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition followed over 40,000 adults for more than a decade, and found that those who consumed green tea regularly had significantly lower rates of cardiovascular disease and stroke, even after adjusting for other lifestyle factors like diet, exercise, and smoking status. Another study in the Archives of Internal Medicine showed that people who drank 3 or more cups of green tea daily had a 20% lower risk of heart attack and stroke compared to those who drank less than 1 cup per day. The protective effect increased with the amount consumed, up to about 5 cups per day, after which additional consumption didn't provide additional benefits. But Eleanor wasn't content with just drinking green tea and hoping for the best. As she began feeling better and researching more about natural cardiovascular health, she discovered ways to amplify her tea's benefits through simple dietary additions and lifestyle modifications that worked synergistically with her daily cup, creating a comprehensive approach that addressed cardiovascular health from multiple angles. She began adding a small amount of raw honey to her tea, not primarily for sweetness, but because raw honey contains flavonoids and other compounds that complement green tea's catechins. The combination of honey's flavonoids with green tea's catechins creates what researchers call a synergistic effect, where the total benefit is greater than the sum of the individual parts. Eleanor learned that hibiscus tea, consumed later in the day, provided additional blood pressure benefits without interfering with her green tea's absorption. Hibiscus contains different compounds that work through separate pathways to support cardiovascular health, and consuming it several hours after her morning green tea meant she was providing her body with cardiovascular support throughout the day. She also discovered that timing her light physical activity around her tea consumption enhanced its benefits significantly. A gentle 15-minute walk about an hour after drinking her tea seemed to amplify its effects on circulation and energy levels. This timing allowed the beneficial compounds to begin working while her body was in motion, enhancing their circulation throughout her system and optimizing their cardiovascular benefits. But perhaps the most important discovery Eleanor made was about consistency and patience. The compounds in green tea don't accumulate in your body like fat-soluble vitamins do. Their beneficial effects are relatively short-lived, which means daily consumption is essential for maintaining their cardiovascular benefits. Missing a day here and there isn't catastrophic, but regular, consistent consumption is necessary for optimal results. This need for consistency initially frustrated Eleanor, who was used to medications that seemed to work immediately. But she soon realized that this gradual, sustained approach was actually superior to quick fixes because it was supporting her body's natural healing processes rather than forcing artificial changes that might not be sustainable long-term. By her third week of this routine, Eleanor's blood pressure readings at home were consistently lower than they had been in months. She was sleeping better, feeling more energetic during the day, and noticing that activities that once left her feeling tired and breathless were becoming manageable again. Her morning walks, which she had shortened over the years due to fatigue, gradually extended as her endurance improved. Her family physician, Dr. Martinez, initially skeptical of what he diplomatically called alternative approaches, became increasingly interested as Eleanor's blood pressure logs showed steady improvement week after week. When her quarterly blood work came back showing improvements in markers of inflammation, cholesterol levels, and even kidney function, he began asking detailed questions about exactly what Eleanor was doing. Dr. Martinez had been practicing cardiology for over 20 years and had seen countless patients struggle with blood pressure management despite multiple medications and lifestyle recommendations. Eleanor's improvements were significant enough that he began researching green tea's cardiovascular benefits himself, eventually incorporating questions about tea consumption into his standard patient interviews. This brings us to an important point about working with your healthcare provider when making changes to support your cardiovascular health. Eleanor was wise to continue monitoring her blood pressure regularly and to keep Dr. Martinez informed about the improvements she was experiencing. She never suggested that green tea was a replacement for medical care, but rather an addition to her overall health management strategy. If you're currently taking blood pressure medications, you should never stop or reduce them without medical supervision, even if you're experiencing improvements from natural approaches like green tea consumption. What many people find, as Eleanor did, is that as their cardiovascular health improves through natural means, their doctors may be able to reduce medication dosages or, in some cases, eliminate certain medications entirely under careful supervision. Dr. Martinez was particularly impressed with Eleanor's sustained energy levels throughout the day. Many blood pressure medications can cause fatigue as a side effect, leaving patients feeling like they're trading one problem for another. Eleanor was experiencing the opposite, increased vitality and endurance that seemed to improve week by week as her cardiovascular system became more efficient. This energy boost isn't just a pleasant side effect of green tea consumption. It's a direct result of improved circulation, delivering more oxygen and nutrients to every cell in your body. When your arteries are functioning optimally, your heart doesn't have to work as hard to maintain adequate blood flow, leaving you with more energy for the activities you enjoy and reducing the fatigue that many seniors accept as inevitable. But Eleanor's transformation involved more than just cardiovascular improvements. As her circulation improved, she noticed other unexpected benefits that surprised both her and her family. Her skin looked healthier and more vibrant, with a glow she hadn't seen in years. Her memory and mental clarity seemed sharper, making conversations more enjoyable and reducing the mental fog she had been experiencing. Even her chronic joint stiffness, which she had attributed to arthritis and aging, became less bothersome. Her morning stiffness decreased, and she found herself moving more freely throughout the day. These improvements made sense when she learned that better circulation meant better delivery of nutrients to all her tissues and more efficient removal of inflammatory waste products. These whole-body improvements illustrate an important principle of natural health approaches. Supporting one system often benefits multiple systems because everything in your body is interconnected. Better circulation affects every organ system, from your brain to your skin to your joints. It's like upgrading the delivery system for your entire body, ensuring that every cell receives the nutrients it needs and waste products are removed efficiently. Eleanor's daughter Sarah, who lived nearby and visited regularly, was amazed by her mother's transformation. Sarah had been increasingly worried about her mother's declining health and energy levels, sometimes calling multiple times per day to check on her. As Eleanor's health improved, Sarah found herself worrying less and enjoying their time together more. Sarah was so impressed by her mother's improvements that she began drinking green tea herself, though more for prevention than treatment. At 52, Sarah was entering the age range where cardiovascular problems often begin developing, and she hoped that starting this practice early might help her avoid the health challenges her mother had faced. This preventive approach is supported by research showing that people who begin drinking green tea regularly in their 40s and 50s often maintain better cardiovascular health throughout their later years. The antioxidant and anti-inflammatory effects provide protection against the gradual arterial damage that typically accumulates over time, potentially preventing many cardiovascular problems from developing in the first place. For Eleanor, now in her 4th year of daily green tea consumption, the practice has become as natural and automatic as brushing her teeth. She rarely thinks about it as medicine anymore. It's simply part of her morning routine that helps her maintain the energy and vitality she needs to live the life she wants. Her blood pressure remains in the healthy range with significantly reduced medication. Her energy levels are stable throughout the day, allowing her to pursue activities she had given up years earlier. She sleeps well, thinks clearly, and approaches each day with enthusiasm rather than the dread and fatigue that had characterized her life before discovering green tea's benefits. Dr. Martinez continues to be impressed with Eleanor's overall health markers and often asks her to share her routine with other patients facing similar challenges. He has become an advocate for natural approaches that complement conventional medical care, recognizing that patients like Eleanor often achieve better results when they take an active role in supporting their own health. But Eleanor would be the first to tell you that green tea isn't a miracle cure that works overnight or compensates for poor lifestyle choices. It's a gentle, natural approach that supports your body's own healing processes when used consistently over time as part of an overall healthy lifestyle. The benefits build gradually, creating sustainable improvements rather than dramatic short-term changes that might not last. She would also emphasize the importance of preparing and consuming green tea properly to maximize its benefits. Simply drinking any green tea occasionally or preparing it incorrectly won't provide the cardiovascular benefits we've discussed. It requires the right preparation, timing, consistency, and enhancement to be truly effective as a therapeutic intervention. The quality of green tea varies dramatically, and this affects both taste and health benefits significantly. Eleanor learned to choose organic green tea from reputable sources, avoiding tea bags that contained added artificial flavors, low-quality tea leaves, or chemical additives that could interfere with the beneficial compounds. She discovered that loose-leaf green tea generally provided better results than tea bags, though high-quality tea bags can also be effective if they contain whole leaves rather than dust or fannings. The key is ensuring that the tea is fresh. Green tea loses its potency over time, particularly if not stored properly in a cool, dark place away from air and moisture. Eleanor also learned about different types of green tea and their varying levels of beneficial compounds. Matcha, a powdered form of green tea where you consume the entire leaf rather than just an infusion, contains higher concentrations of catechins but is also more expensive and has a stronger taste that some people find challenging. Sencha and Gyokuro are high-quality Japanese green teas with excellent levels of beneficial compounds and more delicate flavors that many people find appealing. Earl Grey green tea and jasmine green tea, while pleasant tasting, often have lower levels of catechins due to the addition of other flavoring agents that can interfere with the beneficial compounds. For Eleanor, the key was finding a green tea that she genuinely enjoyed drinking, because consistency was more important than finding the theoretically perfect tea. She experimented with several varieties before settling on a high-quality sencha that she looked forward to drinking every morning, making the routine sustainable and enjoyable rather than a chore. As Eleanor's success became known among her friends and family, many of them began asking for her exact routine and detailed instructions. She was happy to share her knowledge, but she also emphasized that individual responses can vary significantly and that patience is essential when working with natural approaches to health improvement. Some people notice energy improvements within days, as Eleanor did, while blood pressure benefits typically become apparent within 2 to 4 weeks of consistent consumption. The most dramatic improvements in arterial flexibility and overall cardiovascular health often take 6 to 12 weeks to become fully apparent, requiring patience and consistency from people accustomed to quick pharmaceutical solutions. Eleanor also stressed the importance of viewing green tea consumption as part of an overall approach to cardiovascular health, not as a magic bullet that would compensate for poor lifestyle choices or eliminate the need for other healthy habits. She had also made gradual improvements to her diet, reduced her stress levels through simple meditation practices, and maintained a gentle but consistent exercise routine. But the green tea remained the cornerstone of her cardiovascular health routine, the one change that seemed to amplify all her other healthy choices and provide the foundation for sustainable improvement. She often described it as giving my body the foundation it needed to heal itself and function optimally again. Let me share with you some of the specific research that supports what Eleanor experienced firsthand, because understanding the science behind these benefits can help you approach this practice with confidence and realistic expectations. A groundbreaking study published in the European Journal of Nutrition found that people who consumed green tea daily for 12 weeks showed significant improvements in arterial flexibility, measured using sophisticated ultrasound techniques that can detect even small changes in blood vessel function. Another study in the Journal of Nutritional Biochemistry demonstrated that green tea catechins could help reverse some of the arterial stiffening that occurs with age, a finding that was particularly exciting for researchers because arterial stiffening was previously thought to be irreversible. Participants who consumed green tea, extract equivalent to about 3 cups of tea daily, showed measurable improvements in arterial elasticity within 8 weeks. Research from Harvard Medical School found that green tea consumption was associated with lower levels of C-reactive protein, a marker of inflammation that's strongly linked to cardiovascular disease risk. Reducing systemic inflammation helps protect arteries from damage and supports their natural healing processes, creating a foundation for long-term cardiovascular health. Perhaps most encouraging for seniors, a large-scale study following over 100,000 adults for 7 years found that those who drank green tea regularly maintained better cardiovascular health as they aged, with lower rates of heart attack, stroke, and cardiovascular-related death. The protective effect was dose-dependent, meaning more tea consumption provided greater protection up to about 5 cups per day. Additional research has shown that green tea consumption can help reduce LDL cholesterol levels, the type of cholesterol that contributes to arterial plaque formation. It also helps prevent the oxidation of LDL cholesterol, which is a crucial step in the development of arterial damage. When LDL cholesterol becomes oxidized, it becomes much more likely to stick to arterial walls and contribute to plaque formation. Green tea has also been shown to improve insulin sensitivity and glucose metabolism, which is important for cardiovascular health because diabetes and insulin resistance significantly increase the risk of cardiovascular disease. Even people who don't have diabetes can benefit from improved glucose handling, as it reduces the inflammatory stress on blood vessels. But Eleanor's story illustrates something that research studies can't fully capture: the profound impact that feeling healthier and more energetic has on overall quality of life and psychological well-being. As her cardiovascular health improved, Eleanor found herself engaging more actively with life, taking on projects she had put aside, and feeling optimistic about her future in ways she hadn't experienced for years. She began gardening again, something she had given up because the physical demands left her feeling exhausted for days afterward. She started taking longer walks with her dog, exploring parts of her neighborhood she hadn't visited in years because they seemed too far away. She even signed up for a cooking class at the community center, something she had always wanted to do but never felt energetic enough to pursue. This ripple effect of improved health extending into all areas of life is one of the most powerful aspects of natural approaches to cardiovascular wellness. When you feel better physically, it affects your mental and emotional well-being, your relationships with family and friends, and your engagement with the world around you. You stop seeing yourself as someone who is declining and start seeing yourself as someone who is thriving. Eleanor's transformation also had practical benefits that improved her independence and quality of life. She was able to continue living in her own home rather than considering assisted living, as she had been doing before her health improved. She could drive safely and confidently, maintaining her independence and social connections. She could participate in family activities and celebrations without worrying about fatigue or health crises. These practical improvements are often overlooked when discussing health interventions, but they're crucial for maintaining dignity, independence, and quality of life as we age. When your cardiovascular system is functioning well, you have the energy and stamina to live life on your own terms, rather than being limited by health concerns. For those ready to begin this journey toward better cardiovascular health, Eleanor recommends starting slowly and paying careful attention to how your body responds. Begin with 1 cup of properly prepared green tea each morning using the preparation method we've described, and keep a simple log of your energy levels, sleep quality, blood pressure readings if you monitor them at home, and any other changes you notice. If you're monitoring your blood pressure at home, continue doing so and look for gradual improvements over several weeks. Remember that natural approaches typically work more slowly than medications, but they often provide more sustainable results with additional health benefits that extend beyond the specific condition being treated. Consider working with a healthcare provider who is open to natural approaches and can help you monitor your progress safely. Many doctors are becoming more interested in evidence-based natural therapies as research continues to demonstrate their effectiveness and safety. Don't be discouraged if your doctor is initially skeptical. Eleanor's own cardiologist became a believer when he saw her objective improvements. Don't expect overnight transformation, but do expect gradual, sustainable improvements that build over time. Eleanor often says that the most remarkable thing about her green tea routine isn't just that it improved her cardiovascular health, but that it helped her feel like herself again, energetic, optimistic, and engaged with life in ways she thought were lost forever. As we wrap up Eleanor's story and the science behind green tea's cardiovascular benefits, I want to address some common questions and concerns that people often have when considering this approach, because understanding these details can help you avoid common mistakes and maximize your chances of success. Many people wonder if they can get the same benefits from green tea supplements or extracts available in health food stores or online. While these products do contain concentrated catechins, research suggests that drinking actual green tea may be more effective for several reasons. The whole tea contains additional compounds that work synergistically with the catechins, and the ritual of preparation and consumption may contribute to stress reduction, which also benefits cardiovascular health. Additionally, supplements can vary widely in quality and concentration, and some may not be absorbed as well as the compounds in actual tea. The liquid form of tea may also be better absorbed than solid supplements, particularly in older adults who may have reduced stomach acid production that affects supplement absorption. Others ask whether other types of tea provide similar benefits to green tea. While white tea and oolong tea contain some beneficial compounds, green tea has been most extensively studied for cardiovascular benefits and contains the highest levels of the specific catechins that provide these effects. Black tea, while beneficial in other ways, has much lower levels of the compounds that specifically benefit cardiovascular health. Herbal teas, while often healthy and beneficial, don't contain the same catechins found in green tea and shouldn't be considered substitutes for this specific therapeutic application. However, some herbal teas like hibiscus, as Eleanor discovered, can complement green tea's benefits when consumed at different times of day. Some people are concerned about the fluoride content in tea leaves, as tea plants naturally absorb fluoride from soil. While tea plants do absorb fluoride, the amounts in green tea are generally considered safe for most people when consumed in moderate amounts. Choosing organic green tea from reputable sources can help minimize exposure to fluoride and other potential contaminants. The question of timing often comes up as well. While Eleanor found morning consumption on an empty stomach most effective, some research suggests that spreading green tea consumption throughout the day may provide more sustained benefits. However, avoid drinking green tea late in the evening if you're sensitive to caffeine, as it may interfere with sleep quality. If you choose to drink multiple cups throughout the day, space them at least 2 hours apart and avoid consuming green tea with meals, as this can interfere with iron absorption and reduce the bioavailability of the beneficial compounds. The morning cup should remain the primary therapeutic dose, with additional cups serving as supplementary support. Cost is another consideration for many seniors on fixed incomes. High-quality green tea can range from quite affordable to expensive, but even moderately priced, organic green tea can provide significant health benefits. The key is consistency rather than finding the most expensive variety available. A month's supply of good quality green tea typically costs less than a single doctor's visit copay. Storage and freshness are important factors that many people overlook, but that significantly affect the tea's therapeutic value. Green tea should be stored in an airtight container away from light, heat and moisture. Tea that has been stored improperly or for too long will lose much of its beneficial compounds and may develop an unpleasant bitter taste that discourages regular consumption. Buy tea in smaller quantities that you'll use within 6 months rather than large quantities that might lose potency before you finish them. If you buy loose leaf tea, transfer it to an airtight container immediately after opening the original packaging. For people with digestive sensitivities, starting with a milder green tea or consuming it with a very small amount of food may help prevent stomach upset, while still providing cardiovascular benefits. Some people find that drinking green tea causes nausea or stomach discomfort, particularly when consumed on an empty stomach. If this happens, try reducing the steeping time or drinking it with a small piece of toast or crackers. Eleanor's journey reminds us that significant health improvements often come from simple, sustainable changes rather than dramatic interventions that are difficult to maintain long-term. 1 cup of properly prepared green tea, consumed consistently as part of a healthy lifestyle, has the potential to transform cardiovascular health in ways that benefit every aspect of life and aging. The research supporting green tea's cardiovascular benefits continues to grow, with new studies regularly confirming and expanding our understanding of how these ancient compounds support modern health challenges. What makes this approach particularly appealing is its excellent safety profile, affordability, and the additional health benefits that often accompany improved cardiovascular function. Whether you're dealing with current cardiovascular concerns like Eleanor was, or looking to prevent future problems while maintaining your current health, green tea consumption offers an evidence-based, natural approach that works with your body's own healing mechanisms rather than against them. It represents the best of both worlds, ancient wisdom validated by modern science. The transformation Eleanor experienced from feeling tired, declining, and worried about her future to energetic, thriving, and optimistic about the years ahead illustrates the profound impact that supporting cardiovascular health can have on every aspect of aging. When your arteries are healthy, your blood pressure is optimal, and your circulation is efficient. Everything else in your body works better, creating a positive cascade of health benefits. As you consider whether to try this approach yourself, remember that the greatest risk may be in not taking action to support your cardiovascular health naturally. The gradual decline that many people accept as inevitable aging can often be slowed, stopped, or even reversed with the right support provided consistently over time. Eleanor's story began with a simple decision to try something natural and safe that might help her feel better. That one decision led to improvements she never expected and a quality of life she thought she had lost forever. Your story could begin just as simply, with 1 cup of properly prepared green tea tomorrow morning, leading to changes that transform not just your cardiovascular health, but your entire experience of aging. If you found this information helpful and inspiring, please take a moment to like this video and share it with someone who might benefit from Eleanor's story and the science behind green tea's remarkable cardiovascular benefits. Your support helps us continue bringing you evidence-based natural health information that can truly make a difference in people's lives and help families stay healthy together. Leave a comment below, sharing your thoughts about green tea or your own experiences with natural approaches to cardiovascular health. Our community learns from each other's experiences, and your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear to take the first step toward better health and renewed vitality. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss our latest videos about natural approaches to aging well, staying energetic, and maintaining vibrant health throughout your senior years. We're building a community of people who believe that aging doesn't have to mean declining, and that simple, natural approaches often provide the most profound and lasting benefits for both health and quality of life. Remember, the best time to start supporting your cardiovascular health was 20 years ago. The second best time is right now, with your very next cup of tea, prepared with intention and consumed with the knowledge that you're giving your body exactly what it needs to heal and thrive.